Welcome back to the homestead, y'all. I've had to stop working on the siding on the barn. I got to looking at our turkeys. We have our turkeys in a grow out pen right now, and they're getting up pretty good size. So I really need to get them out of that grow out pen. They're going to be going in this stall in the barn. I'm going to enclose that part of the lean-to and make them a run out there. But for now, I just want to get the stall done and get my turkeys moved in here. So that way they'll have a lot more room. This is a 10-foot by 12-foot stall. I'm going to bring rough sawed lumber about halfway up. This side, this whole side will have a loft on it. So my 2x12s will be at 7 feet. The bottom of them will be. They'll be at 7 feet high. And I'll have 2x12s all the way across, and then we'll put a loft on it. So I'll probably just bring the 1-bys, the oak 1-bys about halfway up, and then do chicken wire the rest of the way, so that way it'll let natural light in from the skylights that we put in. It'll let air flow through there for them, and we can see in there real easy. I'll probably put a door on one of these two sides. I'm not sure which side yet, and I'll just do it in chicken wire. Just build a wood door and put chicken wire on it and build some roost for them in here, and that way I can get my turkeys in here. I will be setting 6x6s all the way down, and that'll support our loft all the way across. But for now, I just want to get this one stall done. I won't be able to get it done today, but hopefully by tomorrow, I'll be able to finish it up. And I'll probably do most of that just in a time lapse. And then when I get done, I'll go ahead and do another video and show you what I've done. So if you have any questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching. Okay, that's got my 2x12s up. On each of these 2x12s, I put liquid nail on the back. I used two 4-inch 5/16 bolts with washers. These are lag bolts, so they've went in there pretty good. And then of course my two pass load 3.5-inch nails that I put them up with. I always like using the pass load. I put me a nail or a screw to hold one end of the board when I'm working alone. And I take the pass load and tack it up there, and that holds it until I can get everything else in place. Of course, I've done that on each end of this, and hopefully that'll hold good. Whenever I get done, I'll put a 2x6 all the way down to the concrete. On this side, I'll liquid nail it, and I'll screw it and nail it all the way up, and it'll be supporting underneath, be support for these 2x12s. Also, I wanted to mention that to find out where my stall post were going to be, the only thing I did was go to this post and put a screw in it. Went to the post on the other side of the barn, put a screw in it, pulled me a string straight across. I went to the far end 6x6 and this end 6x6, put a screw in them, pulled a string, and where those cross, that's where these posts went. So that way all my posts will be straight across lengthways, and they'll be straight across each other widthways. But I just wanted to show you that real quick. I just realized I forgot to mention, not only do I put the two lag bolts in and the two 3.5-inch pass load nails in, I also put two number 20 penny nails in it. So that's what you saw me hammering in a minute ago, and each one of these gets two 20 penny nails. Now that I have my 2x12s up, it's time to put a couple of my 2x6 stringers in. I'm going to put 2x6 across. Today I'm just going to go ahead and put a 2x6 here, and a 2x6 there. I have rough sawed 2x6s. These 2x6s came out of an old grist mill in a local community of ours. That the grist mill was over 100 years old, and a gentleman that we knew was tearing it down. He was saving the lumber, and I stopped by and talked to him, and he said that he was saving the lumber to sell it. So I asked him what he wanted for them, and I was able to pick these 12-foot 2x6s up for $3 a piece. Now, I priced these in the big box store in our local hardware store, and they price anywhere from $13.50 a piece on up to $17 a piece. So getting them for $3 a piece was a deal. I bought these about 2 or 3 months ago, knowing that I was gonna build my stalls and I would need this lumber. Now these are a full 2 inches. Of course, they're rough sawed lumber, but they're actually 2 1/4 inches wide by a full 6 inches and 12 feet 1 inch. But the only caveat that comes along with it, they still have the nails in them. So I'm gonna have to pull these nails out. My wife and I had planned on pulling them out when we got free time. We thought we would have time before I started building the stalls. But with the garden, getting the garden going in the spring, and then by the time you get it going, you're already starting to harvest it. You have to can everything, plus everything else on the homestead that we have to do, all the livestock we have to take care of. We just haven't had time. I think we might have pulled nails out of about 10 boards. So I'm gonna have to pull these out real quick. I'll do that off camera. I might do it on time lapse. And then I'm gonna put them up. And like I said, I'm gonna put the first ones up here. I'll put one on this side of this 6x6 and one on the other side. And then I'll use joist hangers down through there to do the other ones. Now, since these are a full 2 1/4 inches long, I'm not sure how my joist hangers are gonna work out. I may end up just screwing 2x4 to the back side of the 2x12s, setting these on them, and then put screws and 20-penny nails in from this side. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna wait and see what that looks like, and I'll make the decision whenever I go to put them up. But for now, I'm just gonna put these up on this side and on that side. And then I'm gonna go ahead and put my nailer boards in and go ahead and start getting my 1-bys put on today, hopefully. I have some oak 1-bys that a friend of mine, he has a sawmill, and he was kind enough to sell me a big old bundle dirt cheap. So I'm gonna have to get the tractor and the forks, and I'm gonna bring a bunch of that lumber in here. It's been sitting outside. I didn't have any place for it, but now I'm gonna go ahead and start bringing it in and start using it. I would love to go ahead and get my stringers on and my nailers on, and then go ahead and start putting 1-bys on this today. Hopefully I'll get that far. I don't have much daylight left. I'll have to start feeding here soon, but I'll get as far along as I can today, and then tomorrow when I get time, I'll finish it up, hopefully. But I'm gonna go ahead and pull the nails out of these boards and get them ready to get put up. All right, I got all my nails pulled out. The ducks have come to visit me. Depending on how much time you have, you know, I like to recycle wood and anything else as much as I can, but sometimes it's not worth it. It took me about 10 minutes to pull all these nails out, and to be able to reuse this lumber, it's worth it to me. It's worth my time. About 5 minutes per board. Like I said, for the price, I'll spend the extra 5 minutes and pull the nails out of it. But there's sometimes that it just doesn't make sense to recycle or reuse products, such as fencing, cattle fencing. I won't reuse it, trying to strand it, straighten it out. Now, I'll use it for other projects, for tomato cages, for stuff like that, but I won't reuse it for actual fencing. But to me, it just made sense to reuse this lumber. Plus, it's a part of our community's history that's going up in our barn, and that's kind of nostalgic for me. So it's well worth my time, but you know, when you're recycling or reusing, of course you have to use common sense. Does it make sense to reuse this product? And there again, to me, it does make sense. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these put up, and go ahead and get my nailers put up and get some oak 1x in here. Well, I went and got one of my joist hangers and checked it, and it will not fit on this 2 1/4 inch board. I didn't think it would. So I went ahead and notched these two just so I could use my joist hangers. Now they fit nice, just like a standard board would. I cut them down to 1.5 inches on both of them and just notched them. I don't know if I'm gonna do that all the way down the whole 60-foot length, you know, putting one every 16 inches, whether I wanna put that much work into it. So I may have to come up with something else. I'm not sure. It took me about 5 minutes or so to mark these off and then to notch them. So after pulling the nails out and having to notch them, I have about 10 minutes of time in each board. I don't know if I want to do that all the way down through there or not. I'll just have to think on that a little bit. But for now, it's going to work. I'm going to go ahead and get these up, put my joist hangers up, get my 2x6s up, and then start getting some 1x put on. Well, I have my 2x6s up. I can go ahead and pull this other brace off here that I had for the post, but I realized something while I was doing this. I could have saved myself a lot of time and money. This 2x12 back here that I'm hooking to, that I'm using to put my 2x6s on, if I'd have been thinking ahead, that top 2x6 band that you see right here, this one right here, if I'd have used a 2x12 on this outside band, then I could have saved myself some time and some money. It would have made the outside banding a little bit stronger, and I wouldn't have had to do this and this. So I just now realized that while I was building this, putting these 2x6s up, I thought, boy, if I'd have just used a 2x12 on that instead of doing it inside here, I could have saved myself a lot of time and money. Just something to think about if you're planning on building a pole barn. There you go.
Look at him, bud. Always on the strut. Look at him. Ooh, you're a pretty girl. She's an organza, and he is a blue slate.
Yeah, get out of here.
Yeah, look at him. He's on the strut.
What stuff?
Okay, we'll get some more.
You ruined my moment.
That was the girl, right? Well, they're like a big one. Pop up.
The other two already found the food, I'll have to get more. Very good. We'll get some more.